One of the greatest things about wine is the discovery process. And today with Anaba Wines, you're going to see that discovery process started in the 70s.
Anaba Wines is the culmination of a 40-year dream. We didn't begin this with a guy who had enough money just to start a winery. What we had was a poor guy 35 years ago who also wanted to start a winery and whose wife told him maybe we should wait. And so we waited. And so 25 years later, the dream came true. There were a group of us in the 1970s who just fell in love with the French wine and food culture. We would study winemaking, we made wine at home, but eventually I started to take all my vacations in France. And so during my travels in France and meeting all these vintners, I just found that the ones who were in the sort of the old rustic barns and had been there for 3 generations, they're just so charming and so inspiring. What I wanted to do was to make Pinot Noir and wines that would be typical of the Rhone Valley and Chardonnay, but also I want to make them somewhat affordable. It's interesting because in the Rhone Valley, the mistral is the big wind that comes through in the wintertime and sometimes in the summer, and it cools the grapes, and they all know it. It's a big deal. So we found a term that related to a wind pattern that's very common to the Sonoma Mountain and the Petaluma Gap where we are, called anabatic winds. And so that's how we came up with it. We said, okay, anabatic winds, Anaba. And here we are with wind being our theme. The 100-year-old farmhouse that's on our property just looked like it could be turned into a great tasting room. And it turned out once we built the deck, and it turned out the views were fantastic, and we re-landscaped the whole place, and we got this cute little tasting bar, and we have vineyard walks out in the vineyards, private tastings in our salon. Usually we have events out on our deck because it has such beautiful views of the Sonoma Mountain. The focus is on wine. What we do in the tasting room, we're focused mostly on just sharing our wine experiences with the customers that come in.
Do yourself a favor, grab some of the Anaba. Thank you very much for all your support.